Hello and welcome to IASB's Guide to IASB Tools, Teacher Compensation and Benefits, Salary and Staffing Data. This is our third time presenting on this webinar. My name is Anna Harmon. I am the Legal Services Director here at IASB and one of two attorneys on staff. My focus is mostly on employment law, education and public employment law. So any questions regarding terminations, hiring, collective bargaining, etc., feel free to reach out. I'll hand it over to Mike and Jan to introduce themselves, and Marty.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike Quancy. I'm the Associate Executive Director for Government Relations and School Finance. Just looking forward to working with everybody and providing this information. So besides the HR information we have on here, both Jan and I update another plethora of school finance data as well as on our website. And happy to answer any questions on either the HR data that we're going to present on today or any of the other school finance data.
Hi, I'm Jan Miller-Hook, School Finance Director for the association. I've been doing that for 3 years, but like many of you that are attending today, I've done work in public education about 20 years, most of those as CFO at Johnston. And as Mike said, we have lots of information. If you have anything you can't find or think it's there and can't find, just let us know and we'll be happy to help you out.
Hello, my name is Marty Brightman, a legal services specialist at the association, and would just like to thank you all for joining us today and to also remind you that this webinar is being recorded and will be available for you to view on your own time sometime later this week. Thank you.
All right, so before we dig into the meat of things, we wanted to share with you how we'll be communicating with the audience, and that is through the Zoom chat feature that you'll see located at the bottom of your screen. So one of our main goals today, and every year that we host this webinar, is to hear from you. So we want to know what questions you have, maybe some clarifications you need from us, or other subject matter you'd like to see us include in toolkits in the future. So helping or hearing directly from you will help us better understand how we can tailor these tools to best suit your needs and your district's needs, even beyond the collective bargaining season. So to use the chat feature, for those of you who don't know, you can just click that little chat bubble at the bottom there, type in your question or comment, and then submit it, and either Marty or I will be monitoring that chat. This chat feature is for subject matter questions as well as technical issues you may be having. Subject matter questions, we may pause the tutorial and have Mike or Jan or myself answer them verbally. Some of them may be best answered in the chat. Most of the technical difficulty questions will be submitted via chat and answered via chat as well. Okay, so the goals for today, we will be focusing on Iowa Association of School Boards toolkits that contain statewide information on compensation, benefits, staffing, and other contract and collective bargaining related items. So we're specifically going to dig into the whys and the hows. So why does IASB collect all of this information through surveys? How are you able to find these toolkits on the website? How are you able to access them? In what ways can you best use them to benefit your district? Again, even outside of the collective bargaining season for situations such as hiring. And above all, we want to, well, as I said before, we want to answer your questions and we want to hear from you. So if there's information that you've always been itching to know, or data points that you've always been curious about, these are things that we want to hear about so we can provide those for you in the future. One very important point before we move on. Today we'll be using data from fiscal year 2024. And that is because the survey, the tentative agreement survey that we send out each year in partnership with ISEA, That is still coming in. We're still receiving that data for the fiscal year 2025. And to best serve your needs and to best demonstrate these tools, we like to have a full database. So that will be that fiscal year 2024 data. Additionally, the beds data that we'll be using today is also from the previous year. Again, this is because the full data set for 2025 has not been reported yet. That information is collected and housed with the Iowa Department of Education. So if you have any questions regarding the release dates or timelines on that data, feel free to bug the Iowa Department of Education, and hopefully we'll hear from them by the end of the month. Okay, so to get us kicked off, we're going to kind of do a bit of an advertisement here and push the tentative agreement data survey that we've been sending out recently. We have heard back from several of you, so thank you for that. And many of you have seen the tentative agreement form on our board briefs and possibly on our website. It is a form that ISEA and IASB collaborates to produce, and we update that each year. The form collects information about each district's tentative agreements as they become available. So as they start to roll in through this fiscal year, we'll have those made available. So the information is collected from this form and developed into a summary report in an Excel form for districts to use during the collective bargaining season. So how many districts use this tool is to stay up to date and informed on what districts across Iowa are offering and or negotiating this year. This can also help schools remain relevant, competitive, and manage a lot of expectations at the negotiation table. Okay, and here's the big one, the Teacher Compensation and Benefits tool. So the benefits survey is data that we collect from May through August. We will send that survey to districts in May. And the data, the information that we collect is a lot of feedback that we get from you. So I'm emphasizing that a lot throughout this presentation because we can't make a relevant toolkit unless we receive questions and feedback from districts. So part of this toolkit is contract status, other provisions, retention bonuses, salary, benefits, insurance, etc. So around the time that we start collecting this data, it's a really good idea to identify one, who in your district typically fills out the survey. And if you're not sure, that's a good conversation to have a bit amongst your administration. So this person should gather the information needed as provided on a checklist that IASB provides. We'll see that on the next slide. IASB offers extra support in filling out this survey through that checklist. So if you have the information on the checklist ready, it should make the survey filling out pretty easy. And we also provide extra supports in June, where we host a follow-up webinar, TCB survey webinar. Here you can gather all the information from the checklist, and we will literally step by step go through the entire survey with you and answer any questions in real time or clarifications in real time and take comments, etc. We highly recommend you attend. It's a great lifesaver for districts, and at the end of the webinar, you walk away with a completed survey submitted, and you don't have to think about it for the rest of the year. Okay, so here's the checklist. It's available on the same landing page as the TCB toolkit and survey. And it's pretty general information. If anybody has questions on this checklist and what some of these things mean or what you should be collecting, feel free to reach out. Either myself or Marty has that information, and we're available via email or telephone. So finally, ideally, we would collect data from every public school district in the state of Iowa. However, we understand this is not always possible. So we do our best each year to collect the biggest sampling possible. And this is the map from a colored map from last year that kind of shows that sampling gathering but basically, the more districts that complete this survey, the more robust data we can provide for Iowa Public Schools. And the more it's going to benefit you and your district. So each year we strive to fill in those white spaces a little more. Okay, so my portion of this webinar has ended, and I'm going to hand it over to our experts, Mike and Jan, to help you through the how-to of the tools.
Thank you, Anna. I appreciate everything. So I'm going to quickly share my screen here. And excellent. Anna, will you just let me know if everybody can see that okay?
Let's see, I think I'm still sharing, so try one more time.
There we go.
There it goes.
Excellent. All right. So again, thank you for joining us, and for some of you that have been on this before. Hopefully, some of this is just a repeat. You kind of help you along and remember how we're doing this. I'm going to point out a couple of other tools that haven't been pointed out in the past, and just kind of highlight a few things and how to use the tools successfully. So all the tools are available on our website. You do need a login, your member login, to access the information. It is behind the paywall portion of our website. So there's a couple different ways you can get to the toolkit. The nice thing about our website is that there's many roads lead to the same place. So you can always hit the toolbox here. And then again, as you can kind of see, this is actually behind the login. So if I'm going to go click on Teacher Compensation Toolkit, I'm going to need to log in first. Another great way that you can do it is just up top here, toolkit, toolbox up here. You can go to HR Central, and then all the information is listed here as well, and all the toolkits and are the toolbox, including financial tools, HR, policy and legal, and other board development tools. Just all available at your fingertips in one great spot. So, but the first thing I want to talk about is the Teacher Compensation and Benefits Toolkit. So we have two data sets that are broken out. So it's two separate workbooks to provide this information to you. This comes straight from the survey, and we collect the information and aggregate it where possible and try and combine it and make it into as much as a useful toolkit as we can. So you can download each of these as you want to, if you'd like to follow along and do that now. I have already downloaded them, just try and save some time. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the compensation, benefits, and insurance information. This is a report and comparison tool. So as you pull that Excel workbook up, one of the things you'll see here is that it should open up on the instruction page, and you can kind of see where our sample rate is. So this last year we had 261 school districts respond. We're really excited about that. So it gives us about an 80% sample rate. And so hopefully there's enough good comparison and both regionally and maybe by certified enrollment for your district to be able to use this successfully. So you can access the information either via the links here. It'll go to separate tabs, or down along the bottom as well. You can click on each tab as well. So the first one we're going to talk about is the salary information. Everything is organized by district and AEA, your certified enrollment and your served enrollment. And then each of the questions that were asked in the survey are corresponded and added here. So for the salary information, this kind of goes through the compensation plan, whether you're on a salary schedule or other. If you had any changes to lanes and steps, this is basically a yes or no question. Where does your new teacher with no experience starting salaries, BA max, MA 10 years experience, and MA max. Just we do ask all this information, and the more that's provided creates the most robust data set we can provide to you. So there's other compensation information on here as well. Again, we go by district and AEA. And so there's compensation plans. We ask about if there's the elements of the compensation plans, and you can go through that information and what type of incentives. Something we did add in recently, a couple of new items I think are really hopefully useful is as TSS has changed and as flexibility has been added into your categoricals and being able to use some of those categoricals, I think it's great information for districts to be able to find out how other districts are using their categoricals. Are they using TLC and professional development for their TSS now as the salary minimums are increasing? And then we did also ask about distributing TSS funds, really getting a better understanding or more robust understanding of how districts across the state are using these TSS funds, excuse me. So a great way that you can do this and kind of use this is you can sort and you can filter. You can filter by district. There's a little caret here with the arrow down, and you can find your district and you can just pull up your district. And your district's information will be there that was submitted. If you want to look around at districts that are, pick a few that you know that you want to look at and compare to, you have the ability to do that as well. To clear the filters, you just come back into there, hit select all again, and hit OK. So again, another nice thing too, and this was a request from our members and we're happy to add it in, is to be able to sort by AEA. So this is going to be helpful to give you a little bit more of a regional view. So if you want to just take a look, if your district is in Great Prairie AEA and you want to take a look at the districts around there, then you can focus in on that and look at the districts and the information that is available there. So let's say, for example, though, that you want to look at incentive pay. You want to find out about teachers that have offered incentive pay and get some additional information on that. So maybe just looking to compare to districts around you, making sure that you're providing the best package possible for your teachers. So you can go ahead and look at that, offer incentive pay for teachers. If they did not answer, it's great just to zero out the blanks. And let's take a look at yes. So these are all the districts that answered yes to that question. And then we'll further sort again by going to more regional, and we'll take a look at the Green Hills AEA and the districts that submitted there. And so now here you have an idea of the districts within your area, within your AEA, that did offer incentive pay for teachers. And you can again do the same thing. So if we were to take the offer incentive pay teachers out and go ahead and take a look at especially distributing TSS funds. How did districts in your AEA distribute them? And so this was not necessarily a yes or no question, or we didn't provide radio buttons or answers. We really wanted to get at what everybody is doing. So again, this sort of provides from Green Hills AEA, all the districts that submitted data. And now you can just take a look and see how these districts use those TSS dollars this year, and see how you compare and see if there's some opportunities for you there. So the other tabs on this just go through insurance information. Again, kind of just talks about the contributions for single plans, amounts paid. If there was other insurance offerings, so this was sort of you could click on radio buttons in the survey. If you clicked on it, we put the information in here. If it was left blank, then the information was not added to the data set here. So, and then, again, you can filter on if you maybe there's looking to see if districts opted out of healthcare insurance. Maybe you're looking to cut or adjust some of your health insurance costs and plans. Get a sense of what some other districts have been doing in your area as well, or looking for ways to increase your compensation packages. There's also information on this on leaves as well. And I should also point out too that not only can you go by district or AEA, but you can also on any of these tabs go by certified enrollment. So you can go from smallest to largest. And you can also, again, do that by served enrollment as well. So once again, if you do filter on something, let's say you go by certified enrollment, and then you want to pick out a few different districts, both of those filters are going to stay there. And just to clear them out, you just do have to unfortunately go in individually to clear them all out. So, okay, so that's the first one that I did want to show to you. And then our second one is the Contract Information Terms Report Comparison Toolkit. And this is set up the exact same way. I'm not going to go through examples on this one, but again, you'll show up to the instruction page and you can go through each of the tabs. So this does go through talking about your agreements. Does your district have a labor management committee? Information, what are the terms, permissive topics are located? Are they in your master contract? Are they in your employee handbook or board policy? So just good information there, and anything on contract changes, whether or not the district had any contract changes, the nature, and we do ask what the nature of those changes are. So provide some additional information there. So before we do move on to the next one, I do just want to make sure that check the chat here. It doesn't appear we have any questions yet, so I will go ahead and move on. So one of the other parts of the website I do want to show to you, and again, you can access it. There's another place you can access it. Now that you're in the toolkits here, you have your handy dandy toolbox over here. And we can go into what we're going to talk about next is salary and staffing data. And so once we click right on there, we have additional information and additional areas of the website to go to. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the beds data. And again, we do apologize as much as I can apologize that we do not have fiscal year 25 beds data available. We really wish we did. It'd be really helpful on multiple levels, and I'm sure you guys are itching for it as well, as much as we are. So do note that as soon as we do get it, we will be updating the website and we'll be getting that information out to all of our members as quickly as possible that it has been updated. So this information is laid out. Again, clicking on any of these is going to open up another Excel workbook. And so this goes through every single position that we have available on here. Not all positions are listed here. If you see a position that you want to get information on, you can just contact us and we will be happy to put together a report for you. So, but we did try to just limit this to ones that have been requested in the past, ones that get clicked on a lot, and really focus this down. I want to talk about 3 different ones on here because even though each of them are set up fairly the same way, there are some minor differences and there's some great opportunities here to look at some of this other information. So if we go ahead and take a look at the teachers, if you download the teachers one, this is going to go kind of set up the same way. Clicking on any of these is going to go to any of these tabs down here. So you got 2 different ways. It's really important if you have the opportunity to just read through the notes. So especially on the teachers, we kind of split this up in 2 different ways. We talk about all teachers between 2 different codes, between 726 and 745. This means that those teachers may have positions outside of a teaching, maybe an admin position as well. We also focus this down to teachers only. And that's where we do those position codes between 640 and 745. Those are full-time licensed staff that do not have an administrative code associated with them as well. We do use certified enrollments and served enrollments in here as well for comparison purposes. So one of the first tabs is just all districts. This again just sort of goes through everything, contract days, total experience. We do average out salaries, and you'll see this throughout all of the workbooks in here. This is so if you might have had 2 SBOs on at one point in time, and one of them was part-time, it may reflect a slightly lower number than what you would see. This is again just because we have to average everything out so that it's just provided on a district level basis. So, but this does include the teachers, full-time teachers that may have admin positions and full-times that do not have any admin positions. And then you can come in here and do your comparison. So drop down menu up top, find your district, and there will be a 10 up and 10 down. So let's see, I picked a district towards the bottom on certified enrollment. And so you can kind of compare and see where you're at. Down below is the chart information. So any blue line that you see in these charts is the state median. And so you can kind of compare against the state, and you can compare against the districts 10 up and 10 below on certified enrollment. You could also do the same on served enrollment if you feel that that's a better reflection of your district and how you want to look at this data and information. There's also, you can compare regionally by AEA with your certified enrollment number. So this just looks at the certified enrollment by AEA. Or what's really popular is great is just your self-select. So you can come in here and pick districts that you want to pick. And maybe you want to compare to just the districts around you. Maybe you want to compare to some other districts, maybe in your conference. So again, there's just additional tabs here: state compare, served enrollment compare, and AEA compare, teacher only. So lots of different options for you to just sort of drill down and get to that information that you're looking to get to. One of the other great ones we do have is superintendents. So this is structured much the same way. Although there are a few things a little bit different here. So again, we do have the full list. And the nice thing on the list here is that you can take a look and see if this superintendent is being shared, because that can impact those salaries. When we look at those salaries and those comparisons, it's helpful to know whether or not a superintendent is shared. So this does provide the full list: again, salary, retirement benefits. Total salary may include the other salary portion from another district. Again, it depends on how this information was submitted to the DE through the BEDS portal and that information. So again, you can go in and take a look at superintendents if you want to maybe compare, see where you land as a superintendent, or maybe you are a board member or SBO that's helping in a superintendent search and you want to just sort of compare. So you take a look at the total salaries, and as you compare across the state, either by certified enrollment, by served enrollment, and again, regionally, you can take a comparison as well that uses certified enrollment, kind of a 10 up and a 10 down. Again, same sort of concept with the charts below, just provides additional information. And all of these are great because they are just printer ready. So if you find your report that you want to look at and you're happy with it and you want to be able to share it, you can just go ahead and do your print, and everything is set up and lined up for you for printers. So all of our reports in here are printer ready for you as well. The last one I want to look at, or I want to show to you, is this was actually a request from our members, and we're really happy to be able to provide this. And this is a really great tool to be able to look at principals. So not only are there workbooks on here that you can look at this from principals by school district, and it averages all the principals, but there was a request to be able to look at this by schools and by that education level. So now there's also this tool available that you can look at this by elementary principals, by middle school and junior highs, high school principals. So again, this is just information that is supplied to us via the BEDS. The level is determined by the assignment code. So as long as that assignment code is accurate in here, then that's where we put it. So principals could have multiple principal assignments, and you might actually see them in multiple levels. So we do not put individual names in here. We just put everything as position. But I think this is a great tool. We're really happy that one of our members suggested it to us. Really happy to bring that forward to everybody. So this is the kind of example that if you do see something that you would like included, please let us know, and we can work with you and work to try and get this updated on our website.
Speaking of that, Mike, we do have a question in the chat. Is there a report in the toolbox, not necessarily staffing and benefits, that you are currently presenting, so what we were presenting a second ago, that compares para-staffing levels to special education student counts, with counts at each special education level?
Oh, that's a great question. So what we're looking at here is our para level, in 1 second here. And so this is the number of special education paraprofessionals. We are comparing this to certified enrollment, but that is a great idea to be able to compare that with some special education enrollment levels. So that's something that I'm happy to work on with you individually. I will make sure that get this question recorded and be able to reach out. I do see, I'm looking at the chat right now. So thank you, Chris, for that. I actually really do appreciate that. I think that's a great idea to be able to look at and see if we can add that in. But if it's something that you do want with the current data that we have and not the 25 data, shoot me an email. I'm happy to adjust the report and send that over to you as well. Again, we have the question about when will 25 be available. We just do not know. The Department of Education has not made it available yet. It is not available publicly, and we have no preliminary data. So I do know that they are doing a lot of work to make sure it accurately reflects, especially on that teacher experience. I know that they had some issues towards the end of last year in trying to get this in districts being able to submit. Beyond that, I really do not know. I encourage you to reach out to the Department of Education and ask that question because we do as well. And is there a report in the toolbox that shows class sizes per school? We do not. I would have to have a thought about that, especially as we kind of get into that idea of defining class size. I think that can get somewhat difficult. Obviously, we have our federal definitions, but that's something that we can look at. I'm happy to bring that to our team, back to our team, and take a look at that as well. So, but at the moment, we do not have a report that shows class size per school. Okay. I'm gonna pull out of that as well. And so again, if you're looking for additional years, we do go back. There's a historical beds data reports up here. You can go back farther. If you really want to go back farther and do a deep dive, just let us know. We'll try and put something together for you as well. So the next thing I do want to show to you, and the last thing is just that if we come back out again and take a look at the staffing level data. So here we just have some additional information on school district FTEs, school district total FTEs and students per total, nurse and principal information and teachers. And again, focused by year. This information does go further back than what we have available on our website. Please just let us know if you are looking for a historical look back. But one of the ones that we will look at on here is, I'm going to do a couple of them. And the first one I do want to look at, I believe, is our school district total FTEs. So same setup, just you can go ahead and navigate either up here or here. Please do again, read the notes, understand how we are presenting this data to you. It's very important so that you are looking at this, you have a mindset of what you're looking at, and that when you do present this information, you feel confident about that you're getting everything you want, or if it's too broad, you know that you need to take a little different look at it. So this again goes through more of a list format. So we have our state districts, districts in the state, certified staff, instructional administration. And this just sort of gets at that per pupil count. So FTEs and the total FTEs and pupils per FTE. So again, this takes a look at your FTE count and not necessarily a head count. So it's not a body count of staff, but it's that FTE count and aggregates the total FTE amounts. And so, but you can go through here again and take a look and go through, look at different districts or your own district, and sort of that you can go through certified enrollment, 10 up, 10 down, served enrollment, regionally via the AEAs, and go ahead and self-select as well. So once again, all this information comes across printer ready for you. So it's ready for your board reports, or it's ready for however you choose to disseminate the information. The nice thing on this one is that there is some good explanations here. So if you are curious about what we're including in there, in the back there is the positions codes listed. So our non-licensed staff position is going to include all of these positions and the descriptions listed. Instructional administration is going to include all of these. And then you can work your way around back again. And then the last one that I'm excited to show everybody about is, did I get the right one here? Oops, I pulled up the wrong. So again, just sort of looks at certified staff and students per certified staff. So certified staff in this case is going to include teachers, counselors, teacher librarian, media specialists, and anybody basically within these code and position IDs. So same setup, just you have your full district list, and you can take a look and see how you compare, look at other districts. You can go in and take a look via certified enrollment and served enrollment, if you feel that that's a better reflection of how to compare your district, AEAs, and go back and then self-select. So those are the kind of a little bit of an overview of those tools and how to use them. If you have any questions on additional tools or any questions on how to use the tools, I'll be happy to entertain. If not, Anna, I think I might end up handing it back over.
Okay, sounds great. No questions in the chat that I can see. Okay. So, what now? What can you do now with all this information? So we can use these tools that you have learned about today to assist you during the collective bargaining season, as well as a hiring and recruitment tool throughout the rest of the school year. If there's certain comparisons, Mike had mentioned this several times throughout the tutorial, but if there are certain comparisons that you may be struggling to formulate on your own, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are happy to do our best to answer any of those questions and hopefully formulate something that matches your needs. Right. Oops. So just kind of a last ditch effort here. Don't forget to submit your teacher compensation and benefits survey. Again, we haven't sent that out. It won't be sent out until May, but feel free to review that prior to our June webinar, in which we will walk you through that survey step by step. And by the end of the webinar, that survey will be done. And again, there's that checklist. This is actually a screenshot of our landing page where all of these resources are made available. If you have issues navigating to this page or just finding any of these tools in general, please feel free to reach out to Marty or myself or Mike and Jan, know where everything is too. So we're open and available via email or phone. All right, so is there any other questions we can answer regarding the toolkits or otherwise? We're pretty open, so. Okay. I don't see any questions. I do say thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for attending. If you do find that you have questions later on, please don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, thank you again for attending this lunch and learn, and have a good afternoon.